Again, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, grade 7. Miguel, Hermoso, and Rhea. Since our computer 7 is, or we'll be meeting only once a week, so we need to hurry up, right? We'll be talking about working with spreadsheets or MS Excel. No? Excel file is usually used pertaining to data, and it is used also for us to calculate. Okay, there are a lot of formula in MS Excel, and it is really basic. So this will make your work really easy and the calculations really easy. I will just let you know how to use those. Right? Is that clear? Can you hear me loud and clear,
Yes.
Hermoso? How about Miguel? Okay. Working with spreadsheets. MS Excel was first released in 1987 as a competition against another spreadsheet software back then with Lotus 123. MS Excel had the lead on the Lotus in 1993 when version 5 was released. Again, the competitor of MS Excel before was the Lotus 123. It is a calculating device. Okay? Lotus 123 and MS Excel both use grid of cells rather than plain straightforward blank document. The grids help in creating aligned values either in rows or columns. Cells are named after the column letter and the row number of the cell. Later on, I will let you know how to name those cells. This is based on the row and the columns. They belong. A row number of the cell. Each MS Excel copied the cell naming style of Lotus 123, which was first to use letters per column and labels. Okay, like for example, can you see my shared screen? Everyone?
Yes.
Okay. In naming cell, like for example, this is A1. So cell A1. Okay? You need to read first the letter and followed by the number. Like for example, this one. This is C2. Okay? It is actually belongs to C2. How about this one? This is C5. So that is how we name cell. This is based on the column and the row they belong. Okay? Other than regular text and numbers to be entered in cells, MS Excel also uses formulas which utilize pre-programmed code functions to execute certain command with arguments. Functions are codes that will trigger a certain calculation method in Excel by fulfilling its required argument. Okay? This is auto calculation. This would mean addition, subtractions, multiplication, or division. It can actually perform by MS Excel. The MS Excel ribbon interface, just like your MS Word and your MS PowerPoint, MS Excel ribbon also has tabs, home, insert, page layout, review, and view, which are alike to those with MS Office application like your Word and your MS PowerPoint presentation. Unique to MS Excel is the Formula tab and Data tab because you'll be handling now formula and data. Again, please ask questions if you have questions in your mind so that I can address your concerns. Right? Because later in this module, you'll be making a file, an Excel file. Okay? The formulas tab contain a library of different functions in MS Excel. The formulas tab also has book icons that show different sets of related or similar functions. Just like this one. Okay? As you can see, we can insert a function, auto sum, and all of those. The trigonometric functions, and all of those. Okay, logical functions. This is the formulas tab, right? The data tab shows the different tools in MS Excel that are mostly for managing data because we are now containing a lot of data here. These tools include those that can handle duplicates, create drop-down menu in cells, and consolidate reports. Okay, and etc. So again, this is the data tab. Okay, you can see now all of the data, the sort, the filter. You can create um, an upside down or drop down menu. I'll let you see how to use a drop down menu. Do you know how to use drop down menu? Grade 7?
Yes.
Do you know how to use drop down menu? Okay. So, yeah, I guess. Right. I will let you see how to use a drop down menu. Okay. I'll be sharing my MS Excel here. Let's use na lang the original MS Excel that we have. Wait. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay. Sharing now. Okay, can you see my shared screen? Can you see my shared screen? Okay. Now for the drop down menu, all you have to do is to highlight. Are you still with me? Hermoso, Miguel, Andrea?
Yeah.
Okay. All we have to do is to highlight the document or the cells. These are the cell, right? Okay. Highlight the cell and then go to data. Okay. And click filter. Afterwards, you can actually see a drop down menu. Okay. So you can select, like for example, when it comes to sales, you can select item D, for example. Once you click item D, you can only see item D. So that is one of the filter or one of the function of MS Excel to filter your data. Okay, these are your data. That is the drop down menu. This is considered as the drop down menu. Okay, let's go back to the discussion. Okay, a workbook is a group of one or more worksheets saved in one file. To start a new workbook, in the File tab, click New. Then select Blank Workbook. By default, a workbook has one worksheet named as Sheet 1. If more than one sheet is needed, the users can click a plus icon found on the bottom of the sheet beside the last sheet of the workbook. Succeeding new worksheets will be named sheet 2 and so on. Okay, like for example, this one. Okay, let me stop my sharing. I'll let you see. Okay, this one. Okay, so these are different sheets available in MS Excel. Okay, let's continue. Users can navigate another sheet by clicking on the Sheets tab found in the worksheets. The shortcut keys Control plus page up and Control plus page down can use to navigate between tabs. Note that in keyboards, where there is no dedicated page up and down, they may be found in the up and down arrow keys. Okay, some of them don't have page down and page up, so it can actually found in the arrow keys, which can be accessed with the Fn or the Fn key or the secondary function. Therefore, the shortcut becomes now control the secondary function, page up or page down. Okay, just like when we have this one. Okay, control plus page up and page down. Okay, I'm now navigating using control page up and page down. Navigating data ranges. To go to the last cell in the row of the data, you can click control plus down key or other arrow keys combined with the other arrow keys has the same function. Therefore, control plus would jump to the cursor to the last data on the right. When there is a need to highlight the entire column of the data, use control shift down or control shift right respectively. Instead of the cursor jumping to the last cell of the row or column or adding to the shift, they would highlight the entire row or column. Okay. Again, the shortcut keys are control shift down or control shift to the right. Okay, respectively. Creating simple spreadsheets. Okay. Entering values in cells. Values can be entered in cells by clicking directly on the cells. Text and numbers can be entered in cells. Numbers can either be in decimal numbers, percentage, dates, and etc. The example below shows a simple data arranged in ranges. It contains text for titles and rows, columns, headers, and numbers as values. So as you can see, it has a header or a title, then the data. Okay, these are the data. Meanwhile, formulas are added by starting with the equal sign of the cells and click to call them in formula, or can also be typed directly. Okay, just like this one. Okay, I will let you see the actual. Okay, please ask questions if you have questions. Grade 7.
Yeah.
Okay, like for example, for this data, okay, in creating or in formulating, like for example, the summary of this or the summation of this, you can just click or enter equal sign, and click on the cell, long press Control key, click on the cell, click and click. So you are adding now B4, B5, B6, and B7 and enter. Or you can have equal sign, click, plus, again click on the cell, plus, click on the cell, plus, click on the cell, and enter. So this is now the total. Okay? If you're going to add all of these datas, it will result to 6,295. Or you can do it this way. equal to the function, which is the sum. And then you look for first and click on the succeeding cell. And then you close it, enter. It will still do the same. Or you can have equal to sum, open, click on the first, and okay, colon, you click on the last. Okay, this means that from B4 to B7. So the sum of from B4 to B7, enter. It will do the same. Okay, any questions so far? Grade 7? Any questions so far? Are you still with me?
Yeah.
Functions can help creating a shorter formula, like for example, the one we did a while ago. Okay? The sum there is the function. Okay? Function or summation. Okay. Instead of clicking adjacent cell one by one, a range of cells can be called using a colon, the one we did just a while ago. An example, B4 to B7 pertains to cells including the between B4 and 2B7. So because we're using colon. Okay. Basic cell operation. Cells can be formatted in different ways. In the home tab contains most of the cell formatting options. Home tab, this one. These are the home, or this is the home tab, and the settings for the home tab is in here already. Cell ranges can be formatted all at the same time by highlighting them and going to the home tab. Fill the color option. Fill the cells with colors as chosen from the color palette. Okay, just like this one. Okay, when you highlight, you can choose actually, or you can um, fill a color inside the cell. This is for us to identify or easily identify the content or the criteria of the particular cell. Excel's grid lines may be visible to the user, but this visibility is just to guide the user in aligning values in rows and even columns. When the worksheet is printed or converted into PDF, these grid lines do not appear. To create a range with the cell borders in Home tab, find Borders button and choose the desired position of the cells. Choosing all borders would ensure that cells has borders in all sides. Like for example, this one. Okay, let me share my screen again. Okay, in this data, if you're going to look at this, you cannot actually see print preview. You cannot actually see lines, right? Those are invisible lines. So what we're gonna do is to highlight the entire document, and with the home button, you just click on this one. Okay, border button. Okay, you click on all borders, or you can right click, okay, and go to format cells. Still the same. Okay, format cells and border. Okay, we are clicking all the borders here, so that's why it all is been highlighted here. Okay, now if you're going to print preview this one, you can now see some lines because we already set that all borders should be visible. Okay. The size of cells can also be adjusted. The column letters are separated by lines which when dragged will increase or decrease the cell's width. Meanwhile, dragging the row numbers on the left side of the worksheet can increase or decrease the cell height. Like for example, let me share my screen again. Okay, this one. Okay, you can actually adjust the cell by dragging. Okay, and also the height by dragging. Okay, depending upon your desired height and desired width. Note that dragging multiple columns on rows at the same time is possible by highlighting the entire column and rows by clicking on the letters or row numbers. Any action done to one column or rows will be applied to all highlighted columns or rows, just like what we are doing a while ago. This one. So if we're gonna highlight the two columns, for example, and adjust, it can be applied to the succeeding column. Okay. So in this way, we can actually um, adjust multiple columns. Okay. Do you have any questions so far? Questions so far?
Mm.
Okay. AutoFit. AutoFit is a feature of rows and columns that helps in adjusting widths and heights. In this feature, Excel determines the width and height of each row or column based on the length of its values. To execute this, highlight the entire column or rows and double-click on the one of the column or rows of the cell on its own by ensuring that all characters are visible, leaving minimal spaces on the cell padding. Okay? This is the space between the values and the borders. Like for example, we have this one. Executing AutoFit is when you see this icon, double click. Okay? Again, highlight, and you see this icon, double click. This is AutoFit. Okay? Double click. That is AutoFit. Okay? If you have question, please let me know in order for me to address your concerns and your questions. Alright? Okay? Rows and columns. Inserting rows and columns to do this, when a row is highlighted, it can be right click to bring out the drop down menu that will allow inserting a new row below the selected section or by choosing insert on the drop down menu. This can also be done for columns. Like for example, we have this one. Okay. I want to add a column. So simply right click, okay, right click on the column and insert. Okay, you are now inserting a column. Or a row. I want to add a row. Simply highlight the row and insert. I did now add a row. Right? Deleting rows and columns is done in the same way, but choosing delete from the drop-down menu instead. Aside from adjusting row and heights or widths, or inserting and deleting rows, there are more options that the user can do on rows and columns. Like for example, this one. Okay, since we inserted a column, we can always delete this column. Right click and choose delete. Okay, again, in the row, right click again and choose delete. So it is already deleted. Hide and unhide rows or columns. To do so, again, highlight the entire row or column to be hidden. Right click and choose hide. Okay. This is how to hide columns or and rows. For this, like for example, January column, I will hide this one, right click and choose hide. Okay. Like for example, item B, right click and choose hide. The columns and the rows there are already hidden. Okay. Cell value format. Numbers can refer to any type of data, dates, percentages, rates, or money, or measurements, or etc. Are all small numbers. The number 400 may be mean 4%, 400 pesos or PHP, or simple 400. In MS Excel, this fact can be controlled by right-clicking on the cell that has value and selecting format cells. Like for example, this one. Okay, let me share my screen again with the cell. Okay, for example, I will just unhide the hidden cells. Okay, right-click, unhide. Okay, like for example, this one, I will format this right-click again and format cells. I will format this one into, let's have currency, okay, in pesos. Okay, so all of these are actually in pesos. Or I can format this one into format cell again into percentages or percentage. So I can always use that one as a percentage. Or I can just choose a pure text. Okay, that is just a pure text. Those are just some of the functions of Excel. Alright? Do you have any questions so far? Grade 7? Since you still have 5 minutes left? Okay. The Format Cells tool allows the user to determine the type of cell or type of value. MS Excel will format the value based on the selected data type. Okay, this one, the one we did a while ago. Okay, in this way, we can identify what are the contents. Okay, what should be the 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 proper format for that particular cell. Was it for accounting, for the currency, for the money, for the percentage, for the fraction? You can always change that one. Basic worksheet operations. Workbook can have several worksheets, and it can happen that the user needs to reorder worksheets for better arrangement. This can be done by simply dragging the sheet tabs. Like for example, this one. Okay, you can always drag the arrangement of your sheet. For example, I will transfer sheet 1 into the third sheets. Okay, so the sheet 1 is in the last, the first is the second, and the sheet 3 is the second. So you can always rearrange. You can always also rename. Like for example, this one, I will rename this as sales. Rename and enter. So you can always change also the labels of your sheets. Sheets can also be renamed, just like we did a while ago. Instead of using generic sheet names as names, to rename the sheet, right-click on the sheet or tab, choose your name on the menu. The user can then change the name of its sheets, like file names. Sheets cannot be named with an existing sheets or using sheet name in the workbook. Sheets names have maximum length of 30 characters. It's too long already to have 30 characters as the sheet name. Okay, the one we did just a while ago. Sheet tabs can also be colored to distinguish from the rest. On right click menu of the sheet tab, choose the tab color and choose the preferred tab color. Like for example, for this one, okay, I will change the sales into tab color into blue, for example. Okay, blue. So sales is in blue. Sheet 2, I will put color yellow. Okay. In sheet 3, I will put color red. Okay. So I have here three colors of tabs. This is for us to distinguish that particular tab. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, we just done that one. Sheets can also be hidden from the view. Hiding sheets impose some level of security as sheet may contain sensitive data. Like for example, sales from your store. Okay. Or like for example, prices of your suppliers. Okay. This can be hidden from the view. Okay. And invisible from the view. To hide sheets, on the sheet tab, click right click menu, then choose hide. Like for example, this one. Okay. Like for example, this one. I want to hide sales simply because I don't want to see or I don't want others to see my sales. So hide. Automatically, your sheet is already hidden. And how to unhide? Just right click on either sheets and then click unhide. And then click sales to unhide. Okay. Hidden sheets do not get deleted from the file. To see hidden sheets, on the same right click menu, then choose unhide. Then Unhide tool will show up all hidden sheets from the file. The user can now select which file to hide, then click OK. Okay, Unhide, just like what we did a while ago. Worksheets can be permanently deleted from the sheet tab